Tesla will launch full self-driving in China. This is actually huge because Tesla's second biggest car market worldwide, as in for the number of cars it sells, that's China. And if Tesla does launch full self-driving in China, it may be able to potentially double its sales in the country. But more than that, Tesla wants to become a robotaxi service in China. You're talking about a market of nearly 1.4 billion people, many of whom live in pretty dense cities. Even though China has its population very well spread out, the majority of people do live in dense cities, in apartment blocks. And for them, well, this would be a game changer. I mean, this would enable them to travel in luxury in an electric car rather than pay for a taxi. I can tell you this would be a huge, huge market for Tesla. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. And speaking of China, new cars coming in China, Tesla's rival, one of their direct rivals in this market is Xpeng. Believe it or not, Xpeng have a very similar full self-driving system to Tesla, which, of course, I think all of you already know how that came about, but they do. And the CEO of Xpeng, he's actually just gone to the United States. He tested Tesla's full self-driving system in the US, which was a couple of generations old, to be honest, but he thought it was incredible. And I think he's very much aware. He's saying Tesla are a legitimate rival in China. This really is a potential. Is it a two-horse race? Well, no. There's actually other rivals to Tesla in China, but they are more like ride-hailing companies. Didi, for example, they're not making cars where you can go and buy a car and then use it potentially as a robotaxi. Well, that's what Tesla's hoping to do. We've heard about this for years, but the fact that Tesla has now received approval in China means actually this could become a very real thing. Tesla plans on launching early next year, I believe in either January or February in China. That's a little bit of a delay by a couple of months from their previous plans. Tesla plans to launch full self-driving in China and Europe as well in the first quarter of 2025. That's pending regulatory approval, of course. So there'll be some European countries where it will be approved, some where it won't. Elon Musk said on an earnings call in July that Tesla would likely receive regulatory approval to launch full self-driving in other markets, including Europe and China, by the end of the year. Now, it has been, I believe, basically approved in China. And Musk kind of got this to happen. He flew to China in April, and really that visit was about getting full self-driving approved in China. And he was successful. The government there went, okay, yeah, we'll work with you. And it looks like the government there are definitely, or the Chinese government are definitely pretty keen for Tesla to do this, which is kind of a surprise. On the 30th of May, Reuters reported that Tesla was preparing to register its full self-driving software with Chinese authorities so it could launch the feature this year. Well, yeah, of course, as usual, they're a few months behind. Anyhow, local media company called SH Observer said on the 14th of June that Shanghai's Nanhu New Town was pushing for 10 Tesla vehicles to carry out a pilot plan with full self-driving, kind of like a pre-testing of the system. Earlier this month, Chinese media reports said Tesla's progress in rolling out full self-driving in China was slower than they'd hoped. But they believe that, based on some small tests that happened in China, that it will actually be approved to be potentially mass rolled out across China in the first few months of next year. In China, all Tesla vehicles come with autopilot. Now, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about Tesla's autopilot. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of media intentionally confuse you to try and make it sound like Tesla's autopilot is what we're talking about. It's nothing to do with autopilot. This is Tesla's actual full self-driving. You pay extra for this. It'll be about probably $8,000 in China. Full self-driving is it's $9,000 or 64,000 yen, one-time fee. So you can currently pay for that in China. You can pay half the price though for Tesla's enhanced autopilot, which has some of the features of full self-driving, but not the full stack, not the full service. And that's about $4,500. Now, China's local EV makers, of course, they don't really want this to be approved. Of course, Tesla is still one of the best-selling car companies in China. And of course, they have the new Tesla Model Y coming out. There's some serious competition coming, but there are still some regulatory hurdles that Tesla has to get over in order for this to be pushed through. Either way, I do think Tesla will actually have this live. I think probably within maybe 18 months, Tesla will be fully approved for hands-free driving in China. That'll be huge for Tesla. It'll be an enormous market. I believe Tesla's new supercomputers, along with their ability to train their neural nets, I believe all that's accelerating at a very rapid pace. Tesla are focusing more on that than they are on actually manufacturing cars, which makes sense. The ride-hailing market is going to be hugely profitable for whoever can crack it. If they can crack it in China, they can crack it anywhere. Chinese roads can be chaotic, they can be busy. I mean, they're not as bad as India, for example, but they're still pretty crazy. And if Tesla can make this work in China, that's going to bring in potentially billions of dollars of revenue to Tesla's bottom line. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching.